Good evening. Guest of honor, Mr. Abraham, President of IIC and our IEDC Nodal Officer, Titus Thomas. Beloved lecturers, my friends, and my fellow innovators, I extend a warm welcome to you all. I'm Ravi Kirtiman, Chief Operating Officer of IEDC Test. I hope everyone is waiting for a power-packed, knowledge-filled talk with our esteemed guest, Mr. Abraham. He's here to give us a talk on the skill set of an entrepreneur. We are all looking forward to hear some insightful innovations from you, sir. A special thanks from IEDC Department, Blitz, AAA, and Department of IIC. I would like to quote Richard Branson. We don't learn to walk by following the rules. We learn by falling over and doing again. Now I shall pass the baton to Betsy to give an introduction about our esteemed chief of guest.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Good evening, everyone. I'm Betsy Elizabeth Berwin, Chief Media Officer of IEDC Talk Series. I'm here to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Abraham Paul Vatakencherry, a seasoned, thoroughbred professional in top management for strategic alliances with a demonstrated history of working with a wide range of domains, ranging from fitness to healthcare, immigration, international education, service industry, business consulting, etc. In short, he carries with him more than 2.5 decades of hands-on experience and has donned many hats like assisting certain chambers of commerce and industry in India in top management positions, and also finds mention in various advisory boards of organizations in both national as well as international ones, possessing a strong inherent passion for corporate interaction with the student community in general, but not confined to it alone, but open to a bandwidth from school to professionals, augmenting their personal professional growth. He is armed with a post-graduation in English literature and is an MBA in marketing as well as personal management. Apart from that, he has undergone a certification course in corporate governance from the University of Sussex, UK, which clearly stamps his authority in any said field. Now, to add another feather to his cap, which is already rich in experience, he has found his way through one inspiring article each in the inaugural special Monaco edition of the Billionaire Chronicle from Monaco, launched on October 7th, 2018, and an inaugural special Dubai edition of the Billionaire Chronicle, launched on Jan 10, 2019, and his profile hitting the epitome of popularity charts among the niche community of readers in it. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of Institute Innovation Cell, Innovations and Entrepreneurship Development Center, and Electrical and Electronics Department of Kochi Institute of Science and Technology. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your intro. I really appreciate the management for giving me an opportunity to address the students who are, of high capability and high IQ. And I wish all of them would come to some levels in the coming years. And I always would like to tell you certain things regarding the entrepreneurship also. In fact, when we talk of entrepreneurship, we have a lot of things which we have to have in mind before we even venture into such things. Like, for instance, entrepreneurship is a mind game. It is nothing connected to what we are talking of. Even skill is, I would say, is the wrong terminology, but though we have given that as the title. If you go by certain aspects of entrepreneurships, there are certain lacunae also when it comes to the personnel. We are talking of people who are just venturing into entrepreneurship just for the heck of it. That will not work because that is something which is there inborn. That is why I'm saying it's a mind game. It is not inherent thing for any any sort of individual. It is a thing which is totally ingrained in a person right from childbirth. It might sound a bit funny and a bit odd, but that is the fact. So we say that runs in our blood. Certain things runs in our blood. For instance, the primary thing what you have to focus on is ambition. And you have to have that leadership quality in you, which will take you to a different level. When we talk of ambition, I would quote examples for it, slice of life examples, which will take you to a different level. Take, for instance, our own industry magnate, the former the late Dhirubhai Ambani. His ambitions were very, very clear. Right from the day he was, focused as a petrol pump attendant, his ideas and his viewpoints came to a different level, and he decided to leave the country and come back to India. His only aim was to hit the roof in any way possible. And his method of hitting the roof was by the petrochemical industry, which he did. All the things what he has done is very much, he has left an indelible mark, and which has been followed by his posterity, his son, and all that to a very great different depth. If you see, he was the person who really, why I say ambition, I take him as a big example is, in the modern day industry of India, he is the person who has revolutionized it. He made a big cake for his own sons to cut and enjoy. If you see, for instance, he is the person who has brought the value of IPO, initial public offer, to the limelight through various meetings and all that. And if you see, he is the one who has really hammered the market. When they come as killers. They don't come as competition. If you see anywhere, they come as killers. And for that, you need a very ambitious mind to come like a killer shark, to kill the market. You take any aspect what he has delved into, they have come and conquered. And if you see, this IPO is a living example of how a person can really come and conquer the Indian minds. He made Reliance a household name, which we have to always keep it in mind. And being a household name is no joke. Just like what we say regarding certain brands like Cadbury, it is actually milk chocolate. But we say, I need a Cadbury because that has really ingrained into our mind. In a similar way, Reliance, he wants to be omnipresent in India. If you see, he has got into almost every other segment in a very, very, very aggressive way. His spending is too big, and his son has followed suit, Mukesh Ambani. Why I quote this example? Because this is to the Indian context. I am speaking to an Indian audience. When it is a foreign audience, the audience is how you tackle is totally different. If you go from an international phase, a person like a Larry Page and Sergey, he is another person who has really made it big. People used to laugh at him when he was downloading things from the Stanford server and all that, for knowing certain things. And his search engine became the most famous one. He's an ambitious guy. And that ambition is clearly shown in what he has done over the years. Today, if you see, everyone says, I need to Google it. They will not say anything else. So that is the way they have really put a name really drenched on Mother Earth for the posterity to say that this person was big. Similarly, there are other names also. A person like Jack Ma is another ambitious guy. Why I'm saying this example, say that when you quote examples, there is nothing better than quoting live, slice of life examples than just giving the name itself. Ambition doesn't mean anything to you, but ambition through examples make a big quality in your mind. And this is what I would like to say. In terms of, just like Jack Ma has really made a mark, in the Asian soil, they have made a mark worldwide. Google. Even in the world market, they are doing very well. Alibaba has, in spite of his innumerable failures, which he with tremendous guts, it is very difficult for an established person to talk about failure. And he is the one, that is one aspect I admire. And he was always ambitious in spite of his failures. A similar example is that of Edison. Failure after failure, failure after failure, but eventually it was success. So if you see people who have failed, they have the ingrained quality and the sweet aspect of tasting success in a very good way. You have to understand that first. Failure is part of success. Now I will tell you another example. I go by cricketing example. Tendulkar and Kambli had come in the same time almost. They both got into the team. But eventually what happened? Kambli was thrown out. Why? Because he was just talent alone. He had vaulting ambitions, but he was never working for his ambitions. That is one thing which killed him then and there. At the age of 22, he was thrown out of the team and he never came back. And you have to understand both are peers. They have spent a lot of time playing. Why I take this particular example is I have seen him live, both these guys. Vinod Kambli is an extremely talented person. I would say he's a notch above even Tendulkar. But due to his arrogance, his attitude, the ambition and this thing was overawed by his attitude and he was thrown out. And when you don't correct yourself there, your ambitions has got to dust. And that is it was extinguished. So ambition was carried on by his own peer, and he is the biggest example what you can quote in Indian cricket. He is known as the god of Indian cricket, and rightly so. He's an example for longevity. He's an example for vaulting ambition. He has fulfilled his ambition to the best of his ability. And we can see that 25 years almost, he has played for the nation, and that is no joke. I would be happy if I can play a few tests itself, which is not possible. His talent is something which you can't match. And here the ambition overawed all these things. And if you see today, if a person is ambitious, he has to put his ambition to place and prove to the public and prove to the whole society that his ambition has been fulfilled. That is what has happened to a person like Ambani. Ambani has shown to the world that he can do things with his courage and valor and with his cunning fortitude and his vision way ahead. He had a clairvoyant vision, which is very far vision, which very few had. And we can't envy such people for that. The same thing happened when you labor and get it. That is also ambition. People only talk of ambition in one quote, but that is not ambition alone. Ambition is both hard work coupled with all the virtues you have to make it a big, submissive and a very potent force. So in terms of ambition, that is one. Another thing, the willingness to learn. That is the point number 2. The willingness to learn is a point which we have to really, thank certain people for it. If you can't learn and unlearn, you are not fit for entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of things you have to do as corrections. You have to ask for customer feedbacks. You have to ask for the competitors' feedbacks. You have to ask for the target audience feedbacks, which can vary from person to person, and so on. So for that, we have living examples for that. The person who has, changed the complexion of banking. That is the example which I would take for that. The Maharaja Saiji Rao from Baroda, who started the Bank of Baroda, is a living example where he saw that the banking system was not apt. And in 1908, it is more than 100 years back, he sowed the seeds for modern banking. And if you see, even in places like Dubai, he has got the oldest bank, and very few have got licenses to operate in such places. He has done that. And we have to give full marks to such people. He had the willingness to learn. He knew that the system in India was obsolete. And he had to bring in a new person who's an economist from US to really change the pattern of the Indian banking as such. So that is a clear-cut example of the willingness to learn. So here we have seen other companies also coming and trying to understand the market. Another big company which is not considered a big company outside, is a company by the name Hyundai in the car market. They studied the Indian market. If you see, Hyundai was not a big name outside, honestly speaking. Now they are making rapid progress because Koreans are known for innovation. And they are doing it very, very strongly, and they want to come to the fore. Now, if you see, they are, it's just like a camel getting into the igloo or camel getting into a hut. They are putting their head slowly, they are inching towards, they are coming out with vehicles and all that. They had studied the Indian market. That's why I said the willingness to learn. If they had not studied Indian conditions, they would not have prospered to the way they have today. It is not a big success in any other place. In Dubai, it is not looked at in very way. Now in places like US, now they are considering it because they are slowly making strides in their own automotive industry. So here, what we have to see is the willingness to learn is not there in everyone. See Ambassador and Fiat. They are big example of not learning the right thing to encounter a company like Suzuki. They failed miserably because they were reluctant to learning and they never bothered about learning. Even big companies have failed. Kodak, in photography, they had a big market share. Today, where is it? It is not even seen. Why I'm saying these examples, these are all big names, both in domestic and international circuit, which really failed. Today, we can get, you won't believe, Fiat and all had a waiting list of 7 years. Today, I'll get it in 7 hours. They have not improvised. The brand dwindled, and they don't have the guts to come up also because they have looted us for years. I would say that Ambassador and Fiat have looted us for years. And then with the influx of a company like Maruti, it has really flattened the market. And actually the market share which they were holding, it came back it came to Maruti's fold. And the Ambassador and Fiat went into dust. So these are, if you don't learn and if you learn, these are the things, or these are the consequences. I am talking from the entrepreneur in a mega way. When you give mega examples only, you will understand what happens in the micro state. The micro state examples are the mega examples fused into a micro state. If you see, there are certain points which you have to always keep it in mind. If you are not willing to learn, don't get into entrepreneurship. There will be a lot of things, lot of oppositions. It is not a bed of roses. Let me make it very clear. It has got a lot of obstacles. You have to, thrash those barricades and move forward. There will be a lot of opposition from people. You might be, considered mad in certain situations because you are doing something which is, totally set to your mind and not bothered about others. But if you fix your mind on something, and if you think that there is feasibility in that, and that learning capability is there, you will always be a success. You should have the guts. In management, we say high achievers are always high risk takers. If you see all these people, if you see get into their roots, they are all high achievers. Similar way, I would quote another big example of Mahindra and Mahindra. They have come from they have taken a route from the back. If you see, they came as a tractor company. Now they are in the forefront. Why? Because of improvisation, because of the person at the top. He has got a lot of visual appeal. He has got a lot of things. He has changed the complexion of the industry. A lot of big orders have gone to the government through him. And now, if you see, that brand has really hammered the market. And it is competing with big brands like Ashok, Tata and Ashok Leyland. And I believe they have eclipsed in most of the stages, and they are bringing out very good vehicles. And the first step in the right direction is coming with a research center in Detroit, which is the land of car making. And they've come with a research center, and that is probably the first Indian company to come with a very sizable research facility over there. So Mahindra and Mahindra is another example. Then we come to the creativity aspect. I'm just giving you sufficient examples. So I'm getting into the next point, creativity. When you have creativity, only your mind spurs. If your creativity element is not there, again, the entrepreneurship idea flowering in you is a big failure. If you don't have that creative mindset, creativity makes in a lot of change. I'm telling you, there was a company by the name Goodnight. You are aware of it. They brought out the concept of HIT, that spray. Their aerosol concept was bought out by him. The name of that person is known as Goodnight Mohan, who later on sold his company, and now he's into movies. Why I take that particular example is, he was the first person to bring in the aerosol concept. And that was a creative thing for the whole industry. Then a big company by the name Bayer came, German giant, but they could do nothing because he had already taken the first mover advantage. That's a big thing in management. The first mover advantage had been taken by HIT, and they became a hit. And later on, I believe Godrej took it up, that company, and now that person is into movies. Why I take that as that is a big example for creativity. You need a bit of associative thinking for bringing in a creative launch also. Certain brands are launched with associative thinking. So 2-3 things they are associated with. Steve Jobs had done it for Macintosh, for bringing in certain other elements and making it more creative. There are certain people who have made it individually. Apple, for instance, the big brand, which no one needs any introduction for that particular brand. They made it big just because of certain people and their approach towards marketing. Their approach towards marketing was totally different. They talk about their product. If you see, when they speak, if you get a chance, please listen to a person by the name Simon Sinek. He gives the clear example of how a company like Apple has evolved when you have the same type of personnel all around, where people could take any type of personnel, but their approach was different. And he clearly tells regarding that particular approach. He's a well-regarded person from New York, Simon Sinek, Simonsinek. He's a very good person. The youngster, a bit of an eccentric, but excellent in his, how he analyzes companies. Very good analysis he gives, and it is pinpoint on the spot analysis he gives. And Apple is one company where, because of its creative thing, it has really excelled. We can never envy Apple. Apple has made its own mark. You talk of anything, when you are creative or when you have done something exemplary, the people start appreciating you. Take, for instance, a person like Michael Jackson. We might at first look, he might look like a mad person. Or take a player like John McEnroe. When you irritate him, only he plays the best tennis. He's a person from the earlier era. If you know that person, is well known in the tennis circuit in the last. He was a maverick sort of person. Why I take these examples is, when you have certain things drawn out, there are certain people who can disrupt it. He is the one who brought in moonwalk, for instance, a person like Michael Jackson. Whatever he does today, he is dead and gone 10 years back. Today, if you talk about him, you are that his dancing, his type of walk and all is taken into consideration in a very different way. Whatever he does, whenever you watch his program, look at the crowd, don't look at him. You will understand the crowd varies from a small child to the most senior guy. All are hysterical, tears are falling down. I was watching a show of his on Madison Square. Initially, I thought it was all madness, but later on, I found out that he also has made a mark, which we have to king of pop or whatever it is. Today, even today, no one has exceeded him in the chart sales. He has excelled. Why? Because he has done something different. He was known for his disco dancing or whatever you want to call it, moonwalking and various other things. He had an excellent voice also, which people have forgotten. Coupled with all these things, he somehow became a hit. His voice had a half masculine, half feminine voice. That became a hit. So that was the cornering point for him. And he was creative in his singing. If you see a brash song from him, you can see a very creative song from him also. If you see a song like You Are Not Alone, then you come to a song like Beat It. Both are totally different. Am I right or wrong in saying that? Why I'm saying this is, if you are different, if you are creative in what you're doing, there you will definitely make an indelible mark. And he is known for his disruptive mind. He has made fun of a lot of people. You know, you won't believe, I'm just giving up. It's a bit out of the topic. He changed his face. I don't know whether you know about it. He changed his face because he was dead against his father. If you see his face, he has done a lot of plastic surgery. Towards the end of his life, his nose started cracking. He did it because he was against his father. Though it might look a bit outward and out of the topic, he had certain things which he wanted to allure the crowd. Whenever he does a thing, the crowd is spellbound. Please try to understand. And it's a full sellout. He had come to Bombay, it was a sellout. He had come to any place he goes, and he picks up audience like this, which very few can. How many people in India can do that? No one, for that matter. So he is a star in his own context. Why I say he's creative is, one is his voice. His creativity comes also in his movements, the way of life, what he talks of, and what he eventually gives to the crowd is something which they feel it is. For us, it might sound it as madness, but even after his death, his thing is, still reverberating in the whole society across the globe. So now, when we come to the next point, I'm just getting into the next point, we come to the assertiveness and confidence. The biggest example I would say regarding the assertiveness is the launch of Maruti in India. I don't know whether you know, it was not Suzuki which came into India first. It was Volkswagen earlier. And the person who brought it to India was the late Sanjay Gandhi, who was Indira Gandhi's son. You know what happened in that bargain? That is where the assertive aspect comes in. This has to be applied in the personal aspect. I'm talking from the mega aspect. Assertive aspect came that when they knew that Volkswagen was a bit slow in reacting, Suzuki, a small car manufacturer, which was known for small car manufacturing, came into the fore and they rushed into India and they closed off the deal. You know, opportunity knocks at you only once. If you don't embrace it, you're lost out. You've missed the bus. And that is the end. Volkswagen lost out on a big market like India for small cars, and now Suzuki is ruling roost. But the funniest part is that Maruti Suzuki as a combine has overthrown Suzuki because of the number of cars. I hope you agree with me on that. And there was a time when they wanted to sever ties also, which if they had done, they would have been a foolish stand, which has happened to Hero Honda, it would have happened to Suzuki, Maruti Suzuki also. Hero Honda also severed ties. Honda is an innovative company. They are a class apart in making engines, and they are really good in their both in their motorbikes. And similar cases with Suzuki. Suzuki was known for its. Why I take this example for assertiveness in Suzuki is Suzuki was a company was precariously standing on what decision the Indian government is going to take, and they were a bit lagging on that, and he pounced on the opportunity, and that is where they've shown their assertiveness. And that assertiveness was there to be seen when this brand became very popular. I still remember myself going to Kalur bus stand. Near to Kalur bus stand, there's a petrol pump to see the cars personally. At that time, they were looking as if the people who had come there, oh, what a car, this, that. And today, no one, a policeman will not even look at it. There were three vehicles parked. One was a pickup van, one was the Omni what we have, and the Maruti old model. Why I take this very livid example is, you should see the excitement on the people's face, because for years we have been fooled by Ambassador and Fiat, because they were showing something outside and doing nothing to the engines, and doing nothing extraordinary to bring in a car of better repute. If that was the case, they would have become a Mercedes by now. They have never improvised, and they paid a big price for it. Maruti came in, they also fooled us to a certain extent. Then Hyundai in 98 came in, and they also improvised with the tall boy design and all that. Why I take this automotive design is, myself, I'm a car buff. So I always look at what are the cars coming in, what is this, that, and all that. And I enjoy speaking about automotive. I'm a automotive enthusiast, not a technical expert, but an enthusiast. So I take this live example because this is a big example for assertiveness. And this is the biggest company which has come and ventured into India as a car company. And you won't believe, at the heights of it, they had 87% of market share, which is a huge share. Anything about 30-35% is huge in a market like India. And Ambassador and Fiat was zero almost. That 11, this thing were by Standard Motors, this, and there was one junk company called Sipani, and a few other companies which really, calculated the market. Now, when you come to from the confidence level, this is one regarding the assertiveness level, and they really made it. Once you come to the confidence level, the biggest example is Jio itself. If you go by what he has done and what it is today, it is something phenomenal. We have to accept it. He tried his tricks galore. If you see right from day one, he was trying his tricks, free mein karo, ye karo, wo karo, and all that. At the end, he was just looking at, how much can the server hold on and all that. The moment he knew that the capacity is right, he started charging. And today, people are so much used to that heavy usage of thing that they are buying this thing like, buying fish. Whenever they say you have to really update it, that is the confidence and foresight he had for bringing in such a brand. And Jio today is trying to make his company debt-free, if you see. They had invested heavily, so they wanted the money back. It's partly because he is afraid of his posterity. I don't think his sons are capable enough to run the show. So now he's trying to make it debt-free. 10% being sold to Facebook. What is Facebook's interest, you might ask me? Facebook's interest is the database. That is money. The database in any company, Amazon, you take any of these big companies, they are selling database. Why is now Facebook asked the privacy thing and all that? They want to sell data. Let us be very frank. They want to sell data and make money. He is tight-lipped when he was cornered by the American jury. Why? Because of this. All these people want to sell data. Even Reliance, the moment you said that it is chargeable, the crowd came down. But he had already got the database with him because he had to register. When you register, your database is already gone into their hands. And once it has gone into their hands, they can do mincemeat of it in the market. Why do people call you? All these anonymous calls and all are coming through these type of things. We always talk of fraud and this and all. The frauds are the biggest people. They are the ones who are selling the database. They are selling it in the market, left, right, and center. Now, database is the biggest asset. If you see all the top 5 companies, all are database oriented. See Amazon, Facebook, all the companies, all database oriented, or some telecom companies, or some virtual learning companies. Now, the things what we are talking of in this COVID era, everything has become very, controlled. But still, the virtual learning is booming. Why? Because the market has zoomed. Certain things which are there in physical selling has come into virtual. This is virtual selling. So the thing what we are interacting with, Google Meet, the other thing, Amazon Web Services, then the Zoom, all are skyrocketing in their share values. Why? Because they are getting a lot of money. And when it is, hit the iron when it's hot, and that is exactly what Mr. Mukesh Ambani is doing to make his company debt-free. There will be a lot of inroads. What is Baiju doing? The same thing. Make hay when the sun shines. And that is what they are doing. And they will make, what was Baiju earlier? Today, his company is valued at 15 billion. 15 billion. An ordinary engineer from Kannur. Today, what is his asset? His asset is his work, his hard work. Here again, it is his confidence that he can do things. Big companies wooing for him and coming with a targeted jet or missile coming to invest in his companies. Now, what all he's purchasing also is a sign of confidence. Gone for what? A white hat, if I'm not mistaken. He has gone for Akash, which was into classes. See how he's blooming. And the day is not far off when he himself will be a household name. You see, he has eclipsed the name of the Sahara by Byju's. That itself is a big thing. Now we should be proud of one thing. There are a lot of Malayali names on the bats and on the t-shirts and all the I would say their t-shirts and all that. In most of the games, either it is Mutthut here, Byju's, or the bat, MRF. And do you know the story of MRF? It was supposed to be KRF, Kottayam Rubber Factory. Today it is Madras Rubber Factory because of our own foolishness. They fled this place, honestly speaking. So what I'm coming to say is these are all confidence booster people. All these people have made a name in themselves. You go for anything. Mutthut has got the maximum gold in the country. Who can compete with them on the national platform? No one. Both the Muthuts put together, that is all confidence. 10,000 branches plus for your information across the country. This corp, that corp, I don't know what. I've lost count. This George Group, Papajan Group, all these things are all add-on, and they are making a big dent. You should be proud and pat yourself that the Keralites are making a big dent in the market. You also can make a big dent. So confidence is a key. When I come from the big to the small, I'm taking a mega example so that you understand the confidence factor in the small. There is one company from Trivandrum. I don't want to name him because I'm an NDA. He has tried his level best to make it, and he has made it. He's a dropout. He's a dropout from CUSAT, and he's a dropout from Brown also. He has made it big in US. Now he's competing with the likes of Elon Musk, a young guy below 30. I don't want to name him. You might have got the clue by now. He's based out of Trivandrum. He had approached me through one of my American associates. Brilliant guy. There is talent. That's what I'm coming to say. You are also talented, but bring out that talent from you. That is most important. It's not just saying something now and doing something later. Do that now. Go for extra thing. Look into the net. Many people say don't look at the net. I am of the reverse opinion. Look at the net for right reasons. You will have a lot of gone are the days. Now teachers are guides. They'll guide you for this. Please check into this. Please check into this. Earlier it was full teaching, and your horizon is so big with the social media, with all the things open. You can go from nothing to from nowhere to everything. I'll give you my own example. A couple of years back, my LinkedIn count of people were just a couple of thousands. Today it is 17,000 almost. And they are also following also. Why I'm saying my example here is I am a puny guy in front of these guys, but my aspirations are big. I always use the Elon Musk statement, an ordinary perception, but an extraordinary mind. I'm an ordinary person. I'm not saying I'm an extraordinary person, but I'm aspiring for the extraordinary. A similar thing can happen from you. I know that there are diamonds within the college, but you have to come out. You have to sprout out of that. You're in the cocoon. You have to come like a butterfly. And if you want to come like a butterfly, you have to come and see what things are happening. You should not be like a frog in the well. You know what a frog in the well means. When you look in the sky, you are only seeing what is there, what the frog sees. You have to come from the shallow waters to the deep ocean. Then only things will work. And this person from Trivandrum, he has done that. And now I won't be surprised if he has already won accolades from the Kerala startup. I think it is Shaji Gobinath, if I'm not mistaken. He's the one who had given the award and all that. Very, very extraordinary. Saji Gobinath, sorry. So he has done an extraordinary work. And I won't be surprised if I see him in a very big post very soon. He will hit the skies within he's 35. I'm sure, because he's brilliant. He might be a dropout, but his cured intelligence towards certain things have made him. All are dropouts. Asim Premji is a dropout. There's Zuckerberg is a dropout. There are a lot of dropouts. Yash Birla is a dropout. Because I've interacted with one or two of them. So I've seen that. Dropout is not the thing, because of reasons several. Asim Premji had to come back because his father died. He is a person from Stanford. Very few know that. Even Mukesh Ambani was from Stanford. His own brother was from Wharton. I still remember, when I went to meet one of those people who's ranked among the top 5 in the country, he told me 3 things, which he's 1 in 5 in the country. I'm telling you. I don't want to take his name because that will create a lot of security lapses. I don't want to take his name. He told me 3 things in Hindi. दुनिया के नजर में गिरना, दोस्तों के नजर में गिरना, खुद का नजर में गिरना. I'll explain it in English. That is, in front of the world, you can fall. In front of your friends, you can fall. But if you fall in front of yourself, you're the biggest fool. Shut shop, sit at home. That is what he told. And this is coming out from a person who's worth crores. I went with one of my friends. We had a deal done. I was in the fitness industry at that time. I was heading the country at that time. I was I'd gone with him, and I just wanted to know what these type of people are saying. And let me tell you, the fitness industry, where I could meet any who's who of any industry, any vertical, that made me what I am today, honestly speaking. Because I could go to any vertical. I used to meet head-on people, head-on the owners, because a driver or a secretary can't choose equipment. He had to choose because it is his body. Be a film star, top film stars met, top politicians met, top industrialists met, top corporate honchos met. What else do you want? And that gave me an idea of what can happen when we talk with these international minds, because they fit across countries. And their mindset is totally different when you interact with them. One might be a hot-headed guy, one might be an intelligent guy, one might be absolute muff, one might be a very good intellectual and a person who can really guide you. There are certain people who are guided. I've encountered the best of best. And that gave me the inkling towards getting into somewhat, like now I do a lot of personal consulting. I do a lot of personal consulting with countries. Why I'm taking my example here is I have also been assertive to get what I'm the bread and butter for me. Global influencing. That is what I've created, a niche positioning for myself, which very few have done. I'm doing that, and I'm corresponding with people, and every day is an excitement. I'm my own boss. That is the biggest fulfillment you get when you are doing entrepreneurship. If I'm not my own boss, I'm nothing. If I rely on people, I don't have to rely on people. I take my own decisions. If it falters, I'm finished. That is also there. But I see by looking at the target audience, which is the most better audience for me to focus my interests. Another point I would like to raise here is the perseverance. For the perseverance, the biggest example for me, what I've seen is Netflix. You know why I say Netflix? Netflix is a company which sold videos earlier. If you get into their earlier, background, they were selling videos. Today, they are selling content. They have made a paradigm shift, and that is only by perseverance. They have got for customer feedback, they have got various other things, and today they are a name. Other people are coming, Amazon Prime, this, that, Hotstar, this star, that star, and all are coming, but none of them are able to touch their quality as of now. Tomorrow it might be a different day. So Netflix is a big example for perseverance. If you don't persevere in a market, you will never know what the customer wants. And you can never, the biggest example for non-perseverance is General Motors. It went into bankruptcy. And it was the pride of US to bring it back to the society. But the biggest example of perseverance is also Toyota. They were being made fun of in the earlier days when petrol and all were not, when petrol was a bit cheap and all that. Now it has gone cheap, no doubt about it, but they brought out fuel efficient cars, which is the norm of the day today. If you go to any market, anywhere, it is the Japanese cars which have flooded the market, except for in parts of Europe, where Volkswagen is like a Maruti there. So what I'm coming to here is perseverance and knowing the product is very important. I still remember certain companies, like in my younger days, when I was doing my sales and marketing in a company in Kochi, which was into prosthetic and orthotic engineering. You won't believe, we were given pagers. Have you heard of pagers? Pagers were a very short-lived market. Soon after pagers, the mobile came. Our boss didn't know what to do with those pages. He had brought a big lump of pages. This is how a disruptive mind can create a disruptive technology. I have written an article on disruptive technology, which came in the Billionaire Chronicle again, which gave me a lot of rave reviews. And this is exactly what I'm telling. In very chaste English, nothing complicating. Because if you go for big technicality, there are a lot of readers who are laymen who don't understand. I'm not going into it, nor am I a technical person. I'm not a technical guy. I'm more of an enthusiast. But in this pager thing, what I'm coming to say is, I had a time when we were getting information when we were in the market, but we were finding it difficult for the person to receive it. So that got phased out within no time. That is what I'm coming to. Today, if you go by the TVs, if you go to a shop, where are the box TVs? It's totally redundant. LCD gave for LED, OLED, curved, this, that, and now it is going blast. You don't know what to do. The pricing which was, thanks to companies like MI and all that, who are giving brilliant products. I personally have experiences MI in the sound bar and all that. I find it very good, extremely good for the money they are, for which they are giving. It is actually competing with companies like Sony. Here again, the perseverance and the market study of these companies. OnePlus is another company which has really hit the market. After studying the whole thing, it's a very good phone, no doubt about it. The only dent and the blemish it has is made in China. But if you see the totality of it, the product is excellent. But if you see from a perspective of how to show off, when you hold an iPhone, the main aim of a person is to show that Apple. There is no other aim, I'm telling you. The phone is all the same. I don't use an Apple. I am using a very ordinary phone. It is just, it's more of a market hype. Product is excellent, no doubt about it. But the product is also expensive. It is out of pocket for many people. But these type of products fit in very much. I believe MI and all have come out with good phones. Why I'm taking this is also perseverance of knowing the market. That is why they brought out these phones. They know that they can capture the market by bringing in all these things. Gone are the days for even a thing like Samsung. Samsung at one time was doing ruling roost. Today they are fighting for all these with all these type of companies. So that there again perseverance matters. Then again, even companies like the erstwhile Amul. How many people know the full form of Amul? You know what is the full form of Amul? AMUL. It was propagated by a Malayali guy. I don't know whether you know. Varghese Kurian. He won the World Food Prize and all that. Extremely honorable guy. Amul is nothing but Anand Milk Union Limited. No one knows it in most of the places. But the fact is that he has made that an indelible name in the whole market. And if you see, Amul is selling everywhere. The person is dead and gone. But his mark remains, his spirit remains. Today, if you talk of Amul, it is Varghese Kurian number one. It's just like when we talk of cricket, it is always Sachin. Because that is the name which has been, been sealed in the mind of people. Now, with the advent of people like Virat Kohli, again, an aggressive player who is making a big mark. So here again, perseverance has played a big role. If they had not persevered, Amul will not become a good brand and big brand today. No other milk brand is able to force anything on them because they have made it so big. And he is the one who brought in the concept, that is again through perseverance, of clubbing the society, milk society, and making it a huge brand, which he has done with full vigor. And now he has started there has been an institute also called IRMA. I don't know whether you know. Institute of Rural Management in Anand. It's a place in Gujarat. So there are a lot of potential and other things which you can really do with good, forceful, intellectual thinking. When you have to root certain things, you have to root it through the right way. If you don't root it, thing is gone. If you want to make a thing big and really blossoming in the market, you have to spend. That is not a spent force. It is spent for the right reasons to make that product a very household name in the market. Now we come to another very big aspect of the courage and the risk-taking aspects of I would say, very good a very courageous person only can do that. And the risk takers are mainly from places like Gujarat. Unlike the people from the south, we are a cautious lot. Let us. If you see from the number of SMEs, I'm connected to a few chambers, big chambers in India. Like one in Bombay called the SME Chamber of India, which is a private premium chamber. Another one called the Indian Importers Chamber of Commerce and Industry in New Delhi. The main list of SMEs I'm talking of even entrepreneur, fledgling people are coming from places like Maharashtra, Gujarat, and a dark horse, Rajasthan. Can you imagine? Kerala and all is a big blob. But in the same breath, I would say that Kerala startups are picking up very fast. Kerala is a place sans industry. The biggest industries are medical and liquor industry. Not medical, sorry, tourism, meditourism, I would say. Medical tourism and liquor industry. These are booming. But if you go to the other industry, it's a big block. Anything which is labor intensive is a zero here because of the trade unionism. The other states are taking advantage of it. Our neighboring state, Tamil Nadu, is doing very well in the industrial sector, automotive sector, industrial sector, and all that. I won't be surprised if they come up very fast. And now, with the influx of a very efficient finance minister, which they have put in, they can do he's a person from MIT Sloan from US, which very few know. And he's a graduate in engineering from NIT Kochi. Brilliant guy. He has been in the banking sector. He knows finance very well, and I am sure that he can do very well. Similar is the case in Kerala also. I think the concerned person is quite efficient. And even in the healthcare, there is a lot of people are eyeing you. And that is again perseverance. The perseverance of putting the public health system in place is the biggest plus in Kerala. When all the other states were struggling to make things meet, Kerala was going hands down forward, marching forward valorously. And the one reason for that is because they have the public health system in place. That is another big example of a government, putting things in place. I'm making a comparative, and they are now compared to even places like Singapore. Can you imagine? In the fatality rate. Whatever said and done, how much be the COVID situation has put us all in a big, big muddle, but we will come out. I'm very sure of that. It might take a bit of time, but have your, re-strategize I'm just coming down to the last 5 minutes. I hope there is time for 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
5 minutes. Yeah. To conclude, I would say, have a very clear, communicative language clear to the target audience. Always communicate with clarity. Have the right ideas put forth to the right target audience. Third point, focus on whatever you want to do by identifying it very closely. Zoom on it, and identify that. And learn what is only required for that particular thing. If you have zoomed on something, try to get maximum knowledge on that. Strategize and re-strategize according to what is given to you by checking out the vibrations from the market, from the competitors, and so on. I hope you are able to gauge what I'm saying. So strategize and re-strategize and put forth all the comments, put forth the improvisation in your product before you venture into it. Always see to it that your project is feasible. Many people come with billion-dollar ideas on these startup things. I've seen a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of pitch decks. The most important page, if you can note, is which page, according to you? In the pitch deck. It is the ROI page, return on investment. And to get that, if possible, vet your this particular thing with a good management consulting agency. If you are looking at foreign funding, Because unless and until the due diligence is done, you will not get 1 rupee or $1 from them. And for that, you might have to seek help initial stage and see how it goes and try to get this from the top 5. If you don't have all these things, it is best not to venture into very mega projects. You can settle down for a MSME project. If you want to get into the MSME level and all, the story is different. And the last point I would like to put forth is that whenever we have all these things in place, see to it that you corner the right person for investment. That is very crucial. If the person doesn't understand the project, don't go to him. He might promise you the skies, or he might be having the maximum money what you're thinking of, but he is not the right person for you in the journey. Because these type of people will start irritating you from day 2. Go to the person who understands the project, inverted commas. And that is, the finality. That puts the nail on the coffin. There only you will understand whether your thing is viable or not. Pitching is there are a dime a dozen who will pitch, but only a handful of percentage is going to make it to the real top. And this Trivandrum guy is that. I'm telling you, it's my perception. It might be wrong for others. My perception is that. And on that note, I would like to conclude. If you have any doubts or see, you can ask me. Sorry for stretching it a bit. Sorry for because I wanted to give the live examples.
It's okay, sir. It was interesting.
You can have a quick Q&A session. Anyone has a question in the group, they can just unmute and ask. I will volunteer myself. Like, I had a question that I wanted to ask. You quoted Jack Ma at the start, right?
So which one?
Jack Ma.
Jack Ma, yes.
Yeah. So do you believe political parties give power, or they are important to the rise of the society for the people like him? Like, he rose because of the controlled environment in China, right? And he went down because he defied them. Do you think that affects in every market like in India?
No, I'll tell you, I'll give you a brilliant example here. I'll give the example of Elon Musk itself. Elon Musk is a South African. If he had not ventured into US, which is the land of dreams and the land of the ultimate for a person with, limitless talent, he would not be the Elon Musk of today. It's a one-liner. You can see everything. He is competing with NASA, with the SpaceX. Now he's coming out with another thing. I don't know whether you know, Neuralink. Are you aware of it?
Yeah.
He is trying it on now.
Chip
yes, chip. And that is going to have a very drastic effect on mankind itself. And his predictions are all phenomenal. Then he has proved with his Tesla cars itself. What is a Tesla car? I'll just give you an example. His cars will never depreciate. You know why? Because he has got that updation, updation of software. People are making a beeline for that. So to put the answer to your question, Jack Ma is being controlled by the Chinese, how they control people. He was in hiding. I thought he was killed, honestly speaking. But suddenly he came up. I don't know whether he's still alive or not. But the thing is that it's a government-controlled thing. The communist regime is a communist regime. It's not like a place like in Kerala or anything like that. The regime is tight. They don't allow the absolute socialism and all that stuff going on. And they don't allow any person to really criticize the government, or they don't allow people to really come up also. Jack Ma, due to his sheer instinct of knowing English, here English comes in. Chinese, Japanese and all are very poor at English. Let me tell you that. The Chinese are also very poor at English, but they have amassed a lot of things by cheap labor because of their backup in there. So here, Jack Ma would have come up even higher if he was in another place, I would say. Am I right or wrong in saying that? Elon Musk is today Elon Musk because of US. It's not because of South Africa.
I
Google
believe
fellow
different.
Sundar Pichai. I don't know whether you know. He was offered a bonus of some 463 crores, equivalent to 4. He gave it back. He said, "I'm adequately paid." Another Indian would have taken it. That is a different story. But he gave it back. He is big today, not because of Kharagpur IIT. He is big because he has studied there. IIT was just a passport for him to get into that place. Today he has made same thing. Satya Nadella. He is from this place, Manipur. No one knows. One of my friends he was a senior. Both are established people in the big companies, mega companies, in the worldwide. So it is all place, positioning, which matters. If you are in the wrong place, you will lie there forever. You see any one of those places. Our email fellow, where is he now? He's in US. Some Saravana, then this one, Hotmail. Where is he? Sabir Bhatia. Is he in India? No, he's outside. So that answers my question. The moment of opportunity when it comes, embrace it. Get out of this place.
We have Reliance here. I think that's nice. The other thing, like as you said, Elon Musk, but he's still being held back by the US government. Like in SpaceX, you cannot hire anyone else outside the nationality.
No, I'll come to your point now. I am talking from a comparative basis. Suppose the same person had come to India. See his fate. Do you think he'll be allowed anything? Everything they have to go through the machinery. Of course, he has been curbed on certain things. Even Facebook is curbed. He has been questioned on his privacy aspects by the court jury. He is not
European
able to answer
government.
certain questions.
The European committee had questioned.
A lot of people will question. And that thing is being, snowballed and, the passing the pillow thing to India. India will also start all this, and the cyber security is booming. A lot of other industries also are booming because of this COVID also. Machine learning, all these things are coming up. AI, all are coming up in a big way. We are not knowing. Because I know that the engineering and all these things are terribly hit because of the practicality aspect is not there. It is going like an online show. But that we have no other option. Bigger companies are suffering. Bigger countries are suffering with all the gadgets available. See the deaths itself. With all the gadgets available, 6 lakhs died, 600,000 plus in US. Medically, they are well equipped. They are far better than India. Only the place we can proud of is Kerala was doing to a certain extent, trying to hold on. Which is something of a very proud thing. We have got a very good machinery that we have to be proud of. So here, to cut the long story, there are restrictions. I do agree with you. But he will work within the restrictions and he will come out of it. Even while Trump's regime, he had problems. He was asked to shut his thing, don't take from... even Tim Cook was forced to say in front of Trump that I'm going to make made in USA. There was one video where he was forced to say that I'm going to make made in the... He was reluctant because it is eating into his profits. So that way, there are a lot of things which can happen. And they will swim out of it, I'm sure. US is a very big country. And it's a land of fortune and it's a land of billionaires. What the billionaire collection in California alone is ahead of India. Are you aware of it? California state alone is ahead of India. India is some 121 or 126, and California is around 148 or something billionaires. And their billionaires are dollar billionaires. Here we are talking of rupee billionaires.
California has a different ideology. They have less tax. That's the reason the billionaires are going there. That's
Exactly.
That's a different piece.
So there are a lot of things which can.
The factors, the factor in a lot of.
All are, all have to be conducive and things have to be ironed out. There's no other way. Certain things will be there. Impediments are there everywhere. But the lesser, the better.
Anyone who has any questions to ask?
Sir, you talked about taking risks, but how will we measure the how will we take a calculated risk? How do you think we should approach it?
Risk in what? Can you elaborate a bit?
As in, we should be confident enough to leap, right? Yeah. So sometimes leaping can be a risk.
What can be a risk? The question is not clear.
Leaping like
Leap.
Moving from the usual way of thinking to a different approach can come out as a risk in a different way, right?
But you have to take risk. So, we are in a situation.
Yes, sir. We are supposed to take risk. I'm asking, how should we calculate whether the risk is worth it?
And that's what. Certain places you have to go. You have to take out that word "worth it." It will be worth it. It is all because of your inhibition that it will not be worth it. Everyone has got talent. I'm telling you. Even you won't believe the type of inquiries I get now on the virtual space is far, far higher than when I was traveling. I myself have got a shock now, honestly. So certain places, you are right. There are certain lacunae, but you'll have to find some sort of solace in what you can do and what best you can do to create a better tomorrow. Many people are not living today to see tomorrow. We try to understand. You have to seek help from others. You have to see what is feasible in the market. It's not just today. You have to live for the moment. Forget the past. Remember tomorrow when it is tomorrow.
But sir, shouldn't we have a vision when we are doing, when we are an entrepreneur? Shouldn't we have a vision and work towards it?
Yes, you should have a vision. You're 100% right. But the vision has to have some feasibility angle also. When you see that everything is curbed, see, like for instance, classes. You have your classes online. Can you make it physical classes today? No. Unless and until the thing is flattened out, the curve is flattened, people are coming together, things are okay, all have taken their COVID vaccination injections, things will not be the normal, the same. It is going to be a totally different tomorrow. Forget the past. It was very ordinary past. Now we are going into a confusing tomorrow. What the Chinese are going to do next is, terrorists have started blooming now. You know that? They have understood that they can kill people at quarter the cost by not, using this big machinery. They are killing people like flies. You know what is the count in India today of death? 3 lakh plus. It is big. Even if we are losing people, and we are losing eminent people. Doctors, fraternity are all jittery because they are not able to face. Look at people in the front end, even the police, the health staff, all these are facing the music. They have nothing to say. We are inadequate in certain places. You are right. We have an aim, we have a vision, but we have to find something from within to create another tomorrow. I'll give you an example. I was in physical sales and marketing also. Now, can I talk of physical sales and marketing? So I have to have something creative. I have to increase my communication skills. I have to be in touch with my clients through the best medium possible. It can be through Zoom also. That is the only way possible. If there is some other outlet, then I will definitely get into that outlet. And if I don't get into that outlet, I am the loser. Another person takes the thing. Now, if you see the people with jobs are the ones with IT background, working from home, having cushy salaries, and sitting at home and doing what they're doing, God knows. That is another side. But they have targets fixed and all that. Apart from that, it is the virtual learning space. Even from the teaching fraternity, there are a lot of people minting money. Even at this stage, a person like Baiju has brought out 2 companies. One is Akash, one is White Hat. How has he done it? He has seen opportunity in that. The labor-intensive industry is finished. There is cold run, this run, that run. It's not easy. You look at the hospitality industry, they are swatting flies. They have nothing to do. See, houseboats in Kerala have been made COVID units, I heard. Is it true? So why they are doing it? Money. Now another industry I can tell you, if you want, you can start that. Meditourism. Bring people from abroad, send them to resort. Kerala is known for that only. So send them to some, let them to some ravish resort or some, and make them enter into a pact with the owners and try to do that. That is another money-making resort. It's a big thing. Why is this Lulu and all is made? That JW Marriott is made for the Arabs, not for us. They are being taken to Astor Medicity. This is the in the likes of Mr. Yusuf Ali, because he knows that the Arabs like coming here. They shop in this way. They have golf carts. They're flying between the hotel and the mall. Just to give you, they are seeing opportunity, but the opportunity when it is snapped, what we can do? It is just like if you've seen the movie Sholay. Sanjeev Kumar in Sholay, with his hands out, whatever be the valorous police he is, he's of no use. So what I'm coming to is that to answer your question, I've gone a bit wayward, but to answer your question, the vision is always there. You can make your vision practical also. But in this impractical thing, you have to see out of a practicality which is feasible. That's all my question is. It is beyond my control. Now, if a person wants to take class physically in your college, can they take the class? No, because there are restrictions. So whatever story we tell, it is all coming down to water only. Sorry to say like that, but that is the way it is. Even I have curbs. I am sitting within the four walls, fed up. But what to do? So that is the question I have. But the vision should always be there. If you have any other parallel talent, try to cultivate that also. That is what I tell people to answer your question. And that can bring in your vision fulfillment to a certain extent, correct. Because right now, everything is curbed, hands are tied. What I can do? I'm helpless. By wearing mask and all, where you will go? You tell me, they are trying innovative ways of doing things. There are many people who have switched over to catering and all that, who are bus drivers or whatever it is. We can't laugh at them because our situation can come for us also. Today I'm living gloriously, but tomorrow it can be a very bad day for me. Rainy day situation, I would say. It has not happened for me today. Tomorrow is a bad day. What I can do? But your vision and all should be there. There is nothing wrong with that. But vision at the current moment, it is curtailed. We can't do anything about it. If you have a proper thing, you can always dial. If whatever way I can help, I can help you all. Whatever little I can do, I will do. That promise I can give you. I don't know how far you take it, but this is my appeal and my offer to you that whatever little I can do, I will definitely. I'm not saying I do the skies. No. Currently, the situation is very, but you can reach out to me or through the management or whatever it is, what way. I'm always there. I'll never falter in because I've got an attachment for knowledge.
Thank you, sir.
So just curious to ask about your perspective about this. So do you consider luck as a factor when you start an entrepreneurship? What is your perspective?
Luck.
Yeah, luck. So what is your perspective on
the
that?
stroke of luck, just like what I told regarding Kampali, is very less. Luck, you'll get stuck somewhere. Luck will take you, it will give you a short inroad, but then you get stuck. It is just like one film wonder. One film wonder is what? If he gets into the next movie, is a flop. Initially, people thought that Hrithik Roshan was a one film wonder. You remember when Kaho Na Pyar Ke or some that was a rollicking hit for a long time. But then he knew that his acting skills were not that great. Then he started dancing. So to answer your question, your name is Betsy Elizabeth, correct?
No, sir. My name is Nandita.
No, her, the earlier ones.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. To answer your question, you can switch over acts and be successful. Hrithik Roshan is known for his dance more than anything else today, not for his music. The music was famous and it brought him to the limelight with Amisha Patel. But today, he is known for his dancing more than his acting skills. There were a few movies which his father brought out, the son did, that's all. So luck, the stroke of luck, when it comes to, your name is Nantita, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your, to answer your question, luck is just for a short period. Never, harp on luck alone. Luck is there. I'm not saying. Some people get just like one of my friends, he got into Wipro when a batch of students had left. He had not got on the right way, but he got into it just like that. That is because that was their interest than his, because they had to finish a project. It was one batch itself left. So they had to finish. This happened in Wipro some years back. I was witness to it. That's why I'm saying this. So that was a stroke of luck. In the normal course, he wouldn't have got Wipro or even the gates of Wipro, he wouldn't have reached. I'm telling you honestly. You have to be very forthright. Many people hide. If you come to the forefront, even if you're a failure, that person can be brought to success. I'm telling you. I have done that. You have to come out with the right aspect. And you should not, you should always be positive. If this time is negative only. Even I am feeling negative. Let me be very frank. I am feeling negative, but there is no point in grumbling and sitting. You have to come out with a positivity. And that is what I want all of you to come out with. There's no point in having, what I can do this, that, and every day you'll be grumbling only. But you come out with the correct aspects, then you come to a different level.
Sure, sir.
Luck is only an ephemeral, temporary exercise. But hard work, perseverance, that's why that takes you a long way. You'd see anywhere, a person who has done real hard work, he will come to the limelight. The unsung hero becomes a real hero. Because the social media will not allow it. Earlier, my situation was curbed because the social media was not that. Now, dime a dozen things are happening. My thing spiraling in terms of the count itself is an example, living example of the thing happening. So I think with your thing, you can really make it big if you have some perseverance to do it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Ah.
Yeah, sir, my name is Aparna. And sir, thank you so much. Actually, your session was really very interesting. I mean, the way you took the conversation with a lot of examples and all we could relate to, sir. It's really awesome, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
sir,
you.
Yeah, sir.
I should thank you more than me.
You're welcome. So actually, I was a bit curious with one of the answers that you gave. Like you told that it will be a bit difficult.
Can you be a bit louder? Can you be a bit louder?
Hello, sir. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. So, sir, like my question was that you just told as an answer, people like a businessman in India, he'll have a tough time when compared to a businessman in US to blossom, right? So then I was like very much like, sir, what about Ratan Tata, sir? He was a savior for the sinking Ford, right? I mean, might be in 2010 or something like that. No, he just made a benchmark. I mean, yeah, he's an Indian and still he's in India. Most of his business assets are in India. So, so sir, do you really think, I think he's the exact businessman, right? He's more into charity and thing, but when you're seeing his work, being an entrepreneur or being into business.
I will give you a living because incidentally, I had a rare meeting with him, with Ratan Tata. He's a nice soul. There's no doubt about it. What you said is absolutely right. I will tell you one thing about it. Tatas have got a different philosophy when it comes to their employees. They take care of their salaries are not that high. But the Tata gives the best in-house training at the initial stage. Let me put it that clear. Tata, TCS, if you see, they give a very good initial training, but later on, people leave that thing. Once they are sent abroad, they cut bonds and go. To answer your question, Tata has got an empathetic approach. There are various approach in this. Reliance has got a different approach, hire and fire. They buy. There will be one. If you have one vice president, there's another vice president with different salaries. But in Tata's, it is not like that. They have got some uniformity. They have got a humanity aspect to it. That is why today also is respected. And for your information, he is never considered a businessman. He is considered an industrialist. I would consider Dhirubhai Ambani a businessman because he's only bothered about his money multiplying. Have you ever seen Tata in the billionaire books? He will never come because his philosophy is different. He wants the whole India to rise. And his philosophy, if you can see in the COVID thing also, is very humane. He interacts with people. How many people have you seen in the industrial segment who are the top with his sort of clout interacting with the common man? He has curbed his instincts. He can go abroad. He is from Cornell University in US. He is an architect by profession. And today he is a very universal figure because of his grace. Ratan Tata, if he comes and stands like this, you don't have to tell that he's Ratan Tata. Everyone knows that he's Ratan Tata. But for a typical Marwadi businessman or something, I use that because they are the ones who try to show off. To show that I am this, I am that. He doesn't need to show all that. Even if he comes in an Indica car, people know that he's worth a Rolls Royce. You have to gauge the person by how he is and not what he is. To answer your question, your name is Aparna Nair,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Here the thing is that he chose to be in India, honestly speaking.
Yes, sir.
And that is what reflects in his talks also. He was also basically, frankly speaking, he was stuck in India. He wanted to go back. His grandmother or someone told him to stay back. That is why otherwise he would have gone. Certain things are accidental. This thing is accidental according to me, but typical Parsi mentality is like this, if you see, generally. Their type of approach towards humanity is very good. Just to give you a short example, I did my MBA small project. One I did in Hindustan Lever and one I did in Tata Tea. I had my project in Munnar. You won't believe, the person who was taking me in the car, he was a driver. Driver and there was another guy. So the driver was not driving the car. So I asked him, why are you not driving the car with me? Then he told he had a heart operation. The whole operation, the money was taken care of by Tatas. And apart from that, 9 months he was given salary. Which company in India will do that? You tell me.
Yes, sir.
That company has got a humanitarian approach. And he wants to inculcate that in all. That was the major cause for bickering between him and Cyrus Mistry. Cyrus Mistry came with a new modern approach. And he's a billionaire on his own. Sapurji Palonji's son. Anyone knows that he is worth billions. So he just, left it to his brother and came back. Why I raise that point is the main point of bone of contention for the fight between these two was on this humanitarian ground. He wanted to hire and fire because he was from the modern era. These are two schools of thought. One is an old school of thought and one is a new school of thought. Cyrus Mistry is a new school of thought. He is an old school of thought. That had a clash. And Tata philosophy doesn't clashes very much with the modern philosophy. The modern philosophy is what? Make the numbers, grow big, otherwise get out. They don't look at your face, they look at the book. I have worked for such companies, that's why I'm saying they're inhuman, honestly. They only look at what is there on the balance sheet. Have you made this? Have you made their numbers? That's it. Tata is not that. The salaries are low, they take care of you, and that is their biggest plus point, and that is why they are known as good employers. Go to a Tata employee and ask him how they behave with him. I have seen in Taj, I used to interact with Taj a lot of times in Bombay. I'm an ex-Mumbai. I've lived there for almost 25 years. So we used to interact with Tatas very much. And their house that is in Colaba, which is near the gateway of India. I have seen their approach. If you see the employees, all are saddled in years together. They are in the company. Very few companies I've seen like that. Even today that continues, according to me. Be it in their Tata Tea, be it in any of those companies which they have under their umbrella. And that is what, it need not, he is growing in his own way, which he is not trying to project, and he's very humble. If you see, he even comes in a Nano, which I also will not drive. Honestly speaking, he will drive because it is his pride. And incidentally, that thing has come out from Coimbatore. Are you aware of that? Nano has come out from Coimbatore.
Yes, sir, but the point which I would like to ask you is, being a mentor, I think we have to promote the students to be more like Ratan Tata rather than Elon Musk, sir. I mean, that's what we actually need. He's
No, but let me ask you, and I will ask you in the reverse. I will ask you in the reverse.
Yes, sir.
It is just like saying, I would like to have a government job. I would like to have a challenging job. This Tata, I would not say government job, but the thing is that, you are right to a certain extent. But the thing is that how many people will be like humane approach and all that? If anyone else is growing alongside, they will not go by that. They will look at a selfish approach. 90% of the people today are self-centered. Do you agree with me on that? I have experienced it. I have got a lot of backbiting. The corporate world is very bad. Not like what you think. There, you won't even know whether you are cheated.
Yes, sir. In such a situation, we have such a successful person still in front of us. That is Ratan Tata. He had
that is, his reputation, his aura, which he has created over years, which is still sustaining him. People respect him. He is commanding respect and not demanding respect. It's a big point.
Definitely. Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, yes. But sir, I think that when it comes to technology, I think Tata is like our Ratan Tata, the person, he is like more into a humane supporting technology.
Exactly.
You
have given the answer. Your question itself is the answer.
Yes, sir. But
you're right.
Elon Musk, he's playing.
I would love to inculcate. Let me answer your question. I would love to inculcate his habits, but how many are prepared to hear me? I will ask you, be like Ratan Tata, be there, take this much salary only. Will you do that? If tomorrow I'm offering you 50,000, Ratan Tata is offering you 25,000, will you sit in that 25,000 place?
Sir, because sometimes I think I'm inspired by him a lot. That's why I'm just, I don't know.
I'm just asking you out of curiosity.
But sir, actually, money is to satisfy the basic need of a person.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have understood that. Everyone need not understand that. Majority, I have been interviewing thousands of people. What I understand is, for 1,000 rupees increase in salary, people will shift companies. You don't know the situation. They are only for money. I am of your type who would like to be under good souls, learn from the boss. I have left companies because of bosses, not of companies. Please try to understand. Very few will openly tell that. I am openly telling in front of this venue. I have left bosses, not companies. Because the day I cease learning from the boss, it is of no use to me. Or if I have to overrule him, I am doing rubbish. Certain things I might not go in line with what he's saying. Certain places I'm curbed. I buy your point, but these are the limitations we have here also. Otherwise, we would have made a very different dent. But in the IT segment, there are certain good souls. Let me tell you that. The very aspect that this one, Asim Premji and Narayana Murthy are there at the top is a big blessing for the IT segment. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, sir.
They have got some, they've got some humane thought. That is their difference. They are not ruthlessly making money.
Yeah.
Whereas in Reliance, it is ruthless. They are not bothered who is coming, who is going and all that.
Yeah.
Here they have to fill their belly.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the thing. I fully agree with you on these points, but certain places I'm not able to answer you. The reason is the society is different. Very few have got that helping mentality, that all are reluctant to be into companies where they are not paid.
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for clearing all the queries. I'd like to point out that I'll be sharing the feedback link in the chat. The participants, please do fill it. I also call upon Nia for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nia Xavier, Chief Finance Officer of IEDC Test. I'm here to present vote of thanks for today's talk on the skill set of an entrepreneur. First, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Abraham Paul Vatakencherry, for enlightening us with his enthusiastic words. Your words, failure is part of success, and high achievers are high risk takers, made us enlightened. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Today's talk was full of knowledge and was so interesting. We all know that this is not possible with our IIC President, Sri Jaman, our most favorite IEDC Nodal Officer, Titus Sir, and Electrical and Electronic Department of Talkers. Thank you so much for organizing such a nice, informative event for us.
So I would like to
I
personally
also
thank him. I would like to personally thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you, Mr. Titus Thomas, for giving me such a very good opportunity. I hope the students had really liked it. And I don't know about the general opinion, but on a whole, I feel that they would have taken on the right note. And I'm there always to help you. That's the main thing I would like to leave. That's one reason I'm sorry to obstruct you and say thanks for your vote of thanks also, Nia Xavier. I'm very happy to address such an audience. I like a receptive audience.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I also thank our fellow participants of this event. Thank you guys for your participation. Once again, sir, thank you for coming here and giving your time and knowledge. Thank you everyone for attending this section.
Thank you.
I wish you all a very good evening and be safe at home. Thank you.
Thank you.